And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, DL Saint. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really want to know podcast, yo. We about to get into it, man. This is gonna be a good one, y'all. We're gonna talk money. We're gonna talk about stuff that I wish that I knew when I was young. I mean, the stuff that I know now, man. I would, and it's not that people didn't tell me. It's not that people didn't tell me. I didn't listen. I just didn't listen. So we're gonna talk about it, and then we got my guy, man. We got my fam from the OH up in here, man, Taroos, because this is his thing. Before we get started, I want to make it very clear: I'm not a financial professional, and I don't believe Taroos is a financial professional. He'll clarify that when he comes up. You know what I mean? So we are not giving financial advice. We are simply talking about strategies that we have encountered in our lives, and we're just having a discussion based on those strategies. This is a an open conversation with everyone who is here, and we are looking forward to hearing everyone's input. Because hey, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, man. We are most people, most Americans are completely financially illiterate. This is keeping 100. I know I was. I never thought about the kind of stuff, man. I could have, when I was in my young 20s, I was a veteran. I could have got myself a home using the VA, and that would have been a perfect move. I could have got a three family or a four family, lived in one, rented out the rest, and that would and had I done that in 19, let's say I'd done that in 1995. Just think where I would be today. Just that one play. Just that one play. And as an air traffic controller, our TSP, which is a thrift savings plan, or was akin to a 401k, with the contributions we got from our employer, the government, that's Nest A grew so big within the 20 years that I was in. And I only invested in it for like 15 years, maybe a little less. That Nest A got really big. Um, just imagine if I started when I was 18. So that's what we're going to talk about here today, y'all. We're going to get into it. I hope you guys come up and check this out live. And if you don't, team replay, give us your comments below. Don't be shy, y'all. This is going to be a fun conversation. I know everybody wants to talk about relationships and racism, and we know what's going on in the news today. Don't worry, we're going to cover all that. You know what I mean? At a later, later on during the week. But today we want to talk finance, man. So without any further ado, man, here he is right here, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Taroos, the warlock. Yo, 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 what's good, fam?
Man, how you doing, DL? Good seeing you. Thanks for inviting me, man.
Oh man, thanks for coming, man. It's always a pleasure to have you here, man. And now we could do a show. It's not gonna be a lot of screaming and yelling, and you know what I mean, people, you know what I'm saying, dropping smoke and everything else. We just gonna talk about finance. Now, I haven't said all that. Somebody's gonna come with some smoke. Watch. Like, I don't know how. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So we've picked up a lot of viewers, man, over the past month. So it's a lot of people out here who might not be familiar with you who are watching right now, man. So why don't you tell everybody who you are, little bit about your history, man. Don't be shy. You know what I mean? You're a veteran just like I am. A little bit about your history, and then we'll get into what we're gonna get into.
Cool, man. My name's Taroos, guys. I was active duty 8 years. Joined when I was 18. 2 deployments. Been married 15 years. 2 kids, 2 girls. With this topic, I learned everything the hard way. Like DL said, we're not financial advisors. The way I learned my finances was straight up hard way, learning lessons the hard way, researching myself, uh, you know, watching videos, trial and error, everything like that. And it just takes time. And yeah, I'm in a position now where I'm really good. And I hop on these panels a lot just to give advice for everyone.
Man, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up, man. So, and again, thanks for coming, man. Because I've been looking forward to this. I know we talked about this last week, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And I know you got, I know you got your notes, you got your bullet points. This is one of those shows where I absolutely have nothing. I'm just sitting here. It's like I have no input on this whatsoever. I'm going to listen to you, and I will be saying things like, "Huh, I wish I'd known that," or "Man, that makes sense." That's what I'm going to be doing. So you're gonna be doing the heavy lifting, bro, and I'm just gonna be top cover on this one, bro. So so how does it work? So when I was 18, joined the United States Army. The one thing my father told me that I did not do, he told me like because in the United States Army, when you go through basic training, there's a like a couple days you spend doing a lot of paperwork. It's when you're doing your
Yep.
insurance paperwork, and then you're doing like you're taking care of how you're gonna do your pay. For us, we did they still pay checks? I think I think you had a choice to either get a check, but they were really encouraging using a financial institution for direct deposit.
Mhm.
And there was also an opportunity there where they talked to you about allotments. You could just have some money taken out
Right.
automatically and placed somewhere. My father told me to get CDs or I think it was CD or government bonds. I forget which one it was. And he was like, take out $100 every time you get paid, have an allotment set up so that goes into a um a CD. I think it was a CD, like a 4-year CD. Um, and I didn't do that. But because his thing was, he's like, if you do that, when you get out in 4 years, you'll have yourself a little bit of chunk of money, what I mean, that you can use to help you get settled in your
Right.
transition, what I mean? Or if you decide to reenlist, just keep it rolling. I did not do that. Did you do anything like that?
I've done a couple CDs. Specifically, what I did was more like bonds, and those are basically you buy at a certain price, and then it appreciates over a certain amount of times. You can do 1 year bond, 5 year bond, 10 year bond, and then it accumulates with the capital gains. But when I joined, I did the typical TSP.
Yeah, because we didn't have TSP. We didn't have that option in 1990. I enlisted in 1990. There was no TSP option. And I noticed later on, like I got into the FAA and I'm like, I'm looking at our TSP, and the TSP is the thrift savings plan with the US government. And I remember going to our TSP website or whatever, just looking at stuff, and I began to see TSP for uniform services. I mean, oh, they're offering this for military now. So you were able to get into that. And was it automatic, or did you have to sign up and select an option?
It was the same thing how you described. They just had the updated format. So when we join and we do all the paperwork at reception or whatever, you can sign up for all that and automatically have that withdrawn without having to do take up space in the allotment stuff. Because remember, like you can only have so many allotments coming out and everything like that.
Yes,
But
I think it was
thankfully, the
four for
TSP,
us. I think it was four for us back then, but don't quote me, don't hold me to it.
yeah.
But I want to say four.
When I was in, I served from 2006 to 2014. It was six, I believe, six allotments. Yeah, so it was about the same. But thankfully, the TSP didn't count, so it would automatically, just like our TRICARE, it would automatically just come out the check as long as you signed up for it.
And that's what's up, man. And I mean, man, if we had TSP, I probably would have signed up for that because it would have been easier. But I didn't listen to my father. He got mad at me too when I came home. He was like, "I told you what to do." I'm like, no, I didn't do it. So so that's how you got started. So you were doing that. So are you good with money? Have you been one? Are you one of those people who are just like real good, or were you like most people was just like stupid with it, didn't care, was doing other things?
Oh, I was stupid. I was reckless when I got, get my first paycheck and buy some dumb crap. Like my first job was when I was 15 years old. And, even then, my parents, they weren't the best with money. And so it was just, normal job and everything. I didn't really start getting good with money. I invested in the TSP when I joined, but I actually didn't start really going down that financial rabbit hole until my first deployment. That's just a quick story, man. I was 20 years old. We was on this called a turn and burn mission where you're just supposed to go drop off supplies, turn on back. It turned into a 32-hour mission from hell. And the moment we got back to the fob, we went to the MSR computers, and the first thing I did was Google, how do rich white people make their money? Because
That's how you
we
put it in
was
there, rich white
fed
people.
up. We was fed up, man. And then my first bank account, my first brokerage account, 20 years old, we had to use the fax machine to send our IDs and everything because, trying to open up an account from, Iraq and everything. Wachovia Bank. I had Wachovia before they merged with Wells Fargo, and then from that brokerage account, I still have it. And then 2010, I opened up my E Trade, and I've been rocking up with. I've been using E Trade ever since.
Ever since, man. So, all right. So you were 20 years old. Like when I was 20 years old, man, bro. I'm like you. I was 14 when I first started working, like off the books, but I was like working with family and doing stuff and get my little cash. It was like the equivalent to having a paper route or something like that, or lemonade stand.
Yeah,
But as soon as I was old enough to get a worker's permit, because like in Ohio, you got to have a worker's permit if you're underage. As
nice.
soon as I did that, I would go. I kept working. I work at restaurants or wherever. And my thing was, I kept $100 bill in my pocket. That's one of the things I always. If you saw me, I had $100 on me. You
That's a
know what
good
I mean?
idea.
And I just did that. Like I just as a kid, I always had $100 on me, and I wasn't a hustler. Like I wasn't that type of hustler. Like my hustle was always working. I was with cats who was in the street, the D boys or whatever. But when I came home after the military, I went right back to just I couldn't even sit still long enough to like collect unemployment. People were like, just sit back, take unemployment, go down, do this. I couldn't do that. Like, man, this ain't even nah. I went and got a
Right.
job. I went and got a job, which paid less than unemployment, by the way. But
Yeah.
still, I just couldn't do it. But I didn't have the financial IQ to do what you did. I could have done the same thing, right? I could have went to a brokerage firm, went in, signed up.
There's so many, and today it's so much easier for, never mind military, just period. Going through life, it's easier to set your finances up and get into a routine early. Um, and it's even more important now with inflation sky high, with everything that's going on. Uh, Now we have accounts where you could just set it up like a monthly reoccurring investment into a robo account, a straight up algorithm. There's so many different tools today that young men and women could get into to really streamline their finances.
Now it's best to do it as soon as you can. So, like, I guess if you're like we were, you had a job at 15, maybe drag your parents into it and get their permission to open up the account and start putting away money. So let's get into the nitty gritty, bro. It's like you 20 years old, you got your broker's accounts, and before I go any further, shout out to brother Jason in the house. What's good, fam?
It's,
Always a pleasure to see you. And brother Jason is all about the credit, man. We did get a real good show about credit, protecting your credit, building your credit, just being knowledgeable of credit and how to credit, how it works. So I know I was like, yeah, I know brother Jason's gonna be here checking out this
oh,
show. so
yeah.
so when people hear this stuff, like you hear brokerage firms and you're hearing like, setting up accounts and all this kind of stuff, equity and the terms we use. They get scared, bro. They get
Yeah,
scared. Go ahead.
it's scary. A lot of times, if you think about it, especially in America, it's really hard to get a paycheck and not spend it, right? I said it before. We kind of have what's called separation anxiety when it comes to our money. A lot of us just can't put it in a savings account or put it in a CD or put it in a Roth IRA or in a brokerage account and just let it sit there. You always feel like you got to spend it. Like you always feel like, okay, I got to do something with it, right? It's almost like that fear of missing out. It's always those intrusive thoughts that's hitting your head, or you get those urges like the I forgot the term, the people who just randomly shop and buy crap for no reason, impulse shoppers.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and what's crazy is you can get that out of your system early if you build a steady plan early.
So how much money we're talking about, man? You were 20 years old, you're in the military. Now your army paid a whole lot better than my army. My last year in the army, I was an E4 promotable. I was including jump pay. I was making $1,041 a month. That was my pay. Now, I mean, your army paid a whole lot better than mine. So,
Not that much, but yeah.
I mean, but so when you're talking about doing something like this, I would think the anxiety is I can't afford it.
And you really can though. But that's the thing. That's the mentality that you have to break yourself out of the hard way. Um, so for example, if you've already been most people are going to start working before they're even 18, right? You're going to get some little job at Target or McDonald's, Burger King, whatever like that. So The first thing you should do is open up that checking and savings account, right? Because you need to have direct deposit. That's just the way people get paid nowadays. And so you open up that checking and savings account, and what screws people up is that they think they got to save a whole bunch of money at once.
Yeah, they think they got to save 20, 35% up one. Here, I got to put all that in there.
No, no. It first off, especially at a young age, is unsustainable. Especially because let's be clear, we're impulsive at a young age. Late teens, early 20s. Come on, we want to go party, we want to go clubbing, we want to do all of those different things. And unfortunately, way too many people around this YouTube space be telling people, nah, you got to act like an old man out the gate and just save. Nah, you'll screw yourself. You'll never maintain.
Right, because these bottles ain't gonna buy themselves. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm trying to get out here and get on some women. Y'all know what it is. So, because I think about that too. Think about the money that we just wasted as kids. I mean, any day, look at it today. Like, you can just look at yourself and just money that you were just wasting. Yep. And that's the money you're saying you need to capture and throw that into your accounts, because if you're used to it and it's gone, you're not even thinking about it. So it's just like that money's gone. If you know what I mean. So, So when you first did that, just real quick, how did that affect you and your pay? In the military, you get your LES. Were you like excited that you had money going, or were you like, damn, I wish I had that money so I go over here to the NCO club?
Both. I was excited that I actually committed to it. And now remember, for us specifically, if you do the TSP and then you go through basic and IT, you ain't got not like you could change it up anyway. You ain't got a choice till you get to your permanent duty station. But just even then, just talking in general, it's both. You're proud that you're able to put the money away, and then you're also like, man, I could go get these concert tickets. I could afford this nice date with this girl that's been hitting me up. I could have gone on the road trip with the homies, just with it. But it's gotta be patience, and you gotta have that self-discipline. And it is hard. It's hard to really have that.
Did you ever go through a period where you stopped?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So before we get to that, let's back it up. So, and if you don't mind sharing, and you don't have to use real numbers, but when you first started this, how much money were you actually putting in there a pay period or a month?
So I was probably putting only $200 a month away for the TSP. I would put $100 in a savings account, and then I would really just blow the rest. And one of my biggest mistakes at 18 was not paying attention to my credit. Like, my credit, if I would have paid attention earlier at 18 and been focusing on my credit, it would have been a lot smoother transition or to where I'm at today. But I was just proud that I was putting something away, and I was just blowing it on everything else.
So $300 a month. So you were putting 200 in TSP and 100 into your savings. So you didn't have any brokerage accounts at this point?
No.
Okay. And I can see that, because now you're just looking at your LES. It's like, whatever, that that money's going to TSP, and TSP shows you what they're matching and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of looking at that like, ooh, that's pretty good. But the savings, most people have a hard time with savings, because you see that money and it's like, man, I want to go buy, like you said, these tickets, or I want to go buy some clothes, or I want to go take this trip. It is an emergency. Let me take it out. So were you able to build a savings at all?
Not until my first employment. I would try to put that money away, and immediately I'd be like, man, I'm about to go spend this, boy. I live in the barracks anyway. I'm good. We get paid on the 1st and the 15th. And so other than the TSP, especially early on, I was not financially responsible whatsoever.
Wow. Okay. So if you had to do over again, what changes would you make starting at age 18? We'll just start there before we get into the whys and therefores.
If I had to start over again, I think I would probably do it just about the same. Maybe try to be more disciplined with the savings account, but I wouldn't open up a brokerage account yet.
And that's what I want to get to. So why wouldn't you jump right into a brokerage account?
So the reason why I wouldn't is because you just want to start small. You don't want to go big out the gate. You don't need to start everything at once, right? The savings account, again, everything. The savings account, the high interest savings account, they go up and down. The interest rates go up and down. It's just about building the snowball effect, right? You don't, especially at a young age when you're not making a lot of money, you don't want to put you don't want to put so much money away simply because, again, it's the fear of missing out, but you're young, right? Like right now, I would probably tell myself that my first paycheck, blow it on the dumbest crap imaginable. Why? Because if I would have blown my paychecks like the first two, that would have automatically taught me how to budget, because I'd be like, dang, man, I need gas in the car. And I ain't got no money to put gas in the car. And dang, I need to grab this, and this, but I ain't got it. And that automatically puts you in the mode of, okay, I actually got to be somewhat responsible with my money, right? And so if I'm 18, so from 18 to 21, basically, hey, you put money into maybe a Roth IRA, right? You put a little bit, try to build up your savings account to at least $500. But I would tell my younger self, yeah, blow it.
Just so you can learn that, all right, I need some discipline. I ain't gonna have no money. It's kind of like, go ahead and let yourself get burned. Let me go ahead and touch that
touch that stove.
Pot. Touch that stove out. Yep. You know what I mean? Wonderful 34s in the house. Was good, fam. Was good. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for blessing the Cash App, man. You always be coming through. And everyone out there with the super chats and the Cash Apps, man, I really truly do appreciate it, y'all. I really do. It just, you know, people like, well, you know, it's money. It's like, no, it's people are using their hard-earned money, and they are, you know, blessing me with that, so we can continue to grow and get this information out and do what we're doing. And I can never thank you enough for that, bro. So thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you, man. And brother Jason has a question. I'm just waiting for it to pop up. On there he is right here. Brother Jason wants to know, when would you advise your younger self to get your first credit card? Ooh, okay, that kind of slides into the credit thing.
So if I could tell my younger self when to get my first credit card, I'd definitely do it at 18. So, for example, while I was doing the research now, what I would tell my younger self is, there's this credit card. Again, we're not financial advisors. We're not endorsing any specific thing, just general advice. There's this thing called the BILT, B-I-L-T MasterCard. And what that does is, you know how rent doesn't actually count towards your credit, right? Right. Well, if you get the BILT MasterCard, you're actually able to pay your rent through that card, because it actually sends that check to as a deposit and everything, and that builds up reward points. So now you're essentially doing the loophole, so you are building your credit score early on, right? I would definitely, any sort of streaming services, such as little things like Netflix or Spotify or anything like that, you put that on your credit card, because those are transactions that you're going to use anyway, right? And since those are transactions, that's how you build up the first thing I would get is probably like a cash rewards card, like the BILT card and everything, or if not, something like a rewards point. That way, all your microtransactions are coming out.
That makes sense. I'm gonna because brother Marcus is in the house and Miss AKA lady is in the house. What's good, y'all? I'm sorry I'm not showing you right now. I am going to
putting that in there right now.
All right, Taroos beat me to it. I was just about to go get it, but Taroos beat me to it, so I'm gonna let him pop it in there. And yeah, BILT MasterCard, and there are other cards out there you can use. I'm sure all the companies probably offer something similar. So to answer Brother Johnson's question, you would say start working on your credit immediately.
As long as you know you ain't have one of them parents who mess with your Social Security and everything. Live with your general aid, you know, you ain't got no credit or anything like that. Typically, you could get like a Capital One, like the Quicksilvers, or my favorite card right now is the Saver One. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but the Capital Saver One, you get cash rewards, and you get extra cash rewards because of your streaming services coming out, right? So that's what I mean. Like, you know you're going to need a Netflix. You know you're going to try to pay for high-speed internet. You know you're going to pay for Hulu or whatever. And you know those are credit card transactions, not ACH, which means, so an ACH transaction is when it's coming directly out of your bank account versus right, your debit card or your credit card with the streaming services is how you pay. And since you know with the credit card, those are automatic transactions, which means it's automatic cash back, automatic reward points.
That's what's up. And Wonderful 34, bro. You've done so much for me, man. Like, listen, you take care of what you gotta take care of. I just wanted to give you your flowers because you know what I mean. Like I say, y'all my day ones, man. You've been there, bro. Like Miss AKA lady and everyone else been there, man. So don't trip, bro. Take care of your business. Look, no one wants to talk about it, but we are in the midst of a financial crisis, bro. My next episode I'm gonna do on Thursday is gonna be the quiet financial crisis. You know, everybody's talking about quiet Quentin and quiet
Yeah.
this and quiet that. We're into a quiet financial crisis right now, bro. Because they don't want to say anything because the whole system is in jeopardy. So I want to definitely talk about that, man. So and this is for everybody, not just you, brother. Wonderful 34. This is everybody.
Yes.
Prepare yourself. Like it's here.
Yes.
Yeah, people keep saying, well, winter's coming. Nah, man, winter's here. Prepare
And
yourself.
especially now, guys, interest rates right now in the high yield savings accounts, they're at least 3.75. Right now is a really good time to open one if you haven't yet.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And we're going to get into like Roth IRAs. We're going to talk about CDs and some other stuff. I mean, like I said, I don't know much. And again, we are not financial professionals. Please take what we're saying with a grain of salt. We're just trying to get out information and we're just telling you, you know what I mean, what we've done. We got Miss AKA lady in the house. She's in banking.
I love Miss Lady. So I got my daughter, my oldest, because they have to be 13 years old in order for you to make them an authorized user on your credit card. So my daughter has already been on my Amex and my Apple Card, and then my daughter when she turns my second daughter when she turns 13 this year, I'm gonna put her on there. And I know we're getting a little bit ahead, but just in general, I always pay off my statement balances in full every year, every month. And so when my kids turn 18, their credit scores is already going to be.
They're going to be like 800s. And I was going to say that too, but we would start talking about if you got parents that mess up your credit with your using your Social Security card to get the water turned on and then don't pay the water bill. If you're dealing with just regular parents, yes, I was going to say that. See if you can get your parents to put you as an authorized user on their card. Make sure your parents are financially responsible because it's good if they're good with the credit, but if they're bad with their credit and you're on there, it can hurt you. So you want to make sure that you're going to get on someone's as an authorized user, you're on there with someone like Taroos is saying, someone who pays their bill every month. I'm one of those guys too. I would pay my bill every month, whatever credit cards I was using, building up the credit. And here's the thing. You never know when something bad is going to happen. I'm dealing with some stuff right now, which, froze up accounts and stuff like that. So it forced me to like, oh man, I have to move differently. Always pay those, your car note. Of course, you got to pay your insurance. Try to pay more than the minimum balance, even if you're going through some rough times. Try to like focus. Like, let me get this paid off. Let me get that paid off, and get it done. Deal with the pain. Sit at home. You know what I mean? Sit at home. Protect your credit. You're gonna need it. Even though right now we're going through this quiet crisis. No one's going to be able to get credit here pretty soon because the regional banks are all going out of business. But that's a different subject for a different show. So you would have your young self, 18-year-old self, get a credit card right away, even if it's just one of those secured credit cards or something like that. Brother Jason, please also jump in there with because I know you're a credit guy, and please jump in there with your suggestions as well and your experiences as well, I should say. Also, remember, you could have your parent make you an authorized user as early as 10, right? Oh, wow.
I think that's for debit cards. I'm not sure if that's credit cards. That could be. I just know, like American Express, you got to be 13 for that.
Okay, which is good. And look into it, y'all. Like, this is why we do these shows, so we can all share information and we can all help each other out. Wouldn't it be great if your parents had hooked you up and you came into the game at 18 years old with an 825 credit score? Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be, but it probably also get us in a lot of trouble too.
Well, I mean, again, it depends on how what people were teaching you and how to move with that money. But protect that credit at all time. Wonderful 34. I would advise young men to get a mentor and advise you about money. Absolutely, definitely want mentors. You want to talk to people nowadays. They have this. They have YouTube. I have people who look up to me. They're like, "Yo, big you my mentor," and I'm like, "Bro, that's pressure." You know what I mean? Because you want to walk it like you talk it. It's like, man, that's pressure. But a mentor is just someone who's been down that hole. They've been down that road. You know what I mean? So even if they got beat up, they can at least tell you, don't go down there. You know
Right.
what I mean? I got beat up. You might want to try that road over there. Taroos went down that road. He didn't get beat up as much. So that's what we want to do. So, all right, your 18-year-old self, you would definitely you would have contributed to your TSP. You would have,
and for civilians, just open up that Roth IRA real easy. Any bank offers it for the most part. I see Miss Lady definitely got Navy Federal just like I do, so she knows exactly what I'm talking about.
4.45% on a CD right now. Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
As low as $50.
Now, you just got to make sure that you're recurring. You just can't put the money in. This is what gets people. They think they could just take $100 and then just let it sit there. No, you got to put it in. If you really want to see that, it's called compounding interest. So every single day, even though you don't get paid it, you get paid the dividends is once a month, but every single day it compounds. And so even if you remove the money for like say 2 weeks out of the month, that's still compounded for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And so you're going to get a dividend credit for that every single month. And so, for example, like I told you, I would have all of my streaming services or anything that takes out of a checking account or debit card, you have that coming out of the credit card. And anything that you have coming out direct bank account, you want to put that money in the savings account. Why do you want your ACH transactions coming out of your savings account and not your checkings account? Because remember, compounding interest on the savings account means that your money's going to grow there for however long it sits there until that transaction comes out. So even though it doesn't sit there for the entire month, you still get some of that compounded interest that then gets deposited every single month.
And here's the thing. You hear what Brother Taroos is saying, right? You know he's telling you the truth because anyone who gets paid by the government and they bank with a credit union and then they also have an account with a regular bank. When is your money available at your regular bank versus when is your money available at the credit union, right? The credit union probably have the money available as soon as the government sends it to them, which is normally the Tuesday before. Like if you get paid on Friday, that Tuesday before is when the money will be available with the credit union because they make it available as soon as they get it, which means, right, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you know what I mean? Those 3 days at least, the banks keep that money. Why? The same thing he's saying. The longer that money stays into the account, the longer they have that interest.
And to emphasize, guys, if you're able to, credit union, go with a credit union. Don't go with a normal bank. If it's possible, go with the credit union. There's a lot better rates, a lot better products and services that you could take advantage of over your typical local community banks.
And your typical local regional community banks are in a lot of trouble right now. They might disappear. There's some credit unions who are also might be in a little bit of trouble, but I don't think their exposure is as great. And Miss AKA Lady is saying she was is 0.485. That's almost 5% on the CD and goes low as $50. That's amazing. Brother Jose, credit union faster. Yeah, facts. They hold that money. So it just, if the banks are doing it to hold it on for that extra 72 hours, you should be doing it too. And I think that's the point that Brother Taroos was trying to make. I see we got Straight Alpha in the house, man, trolling. It's all good, but Straight Alpha might be trolling, but guess what? Straight Alpha's taking notes, right? Because this information ain't no joke. You know what I mean? All of the big people, all of the wealthy people that I know, they all say the same thing about credit. I'm not using my money. I'm using somebody else's money. That's how America was built. That's how businesses are you know, created. These empires are created is through credit, right? Yep. Credit built America, and the lack of credit can destroy America. And that's, again, we're going to talk about this later on in the week. There might be a credit crunch coming that we're all into, and that's going to hurt. But in the meantime, these interest rates are up. Take advantage of it, y'all. I'm just looking at that 4.85% CD. I mean, starting at $50. And Miss AKA Lady, you said that it's as short as 6 months. So it doesn't look like they offer a 3 month, but I would do that. 6 months to a year. I mean, 6 months, really. Could you imagine just let's say you can take $500 and park it there for 6 months. And you're getting almost 5% on that just to let it sit there if you can. But if it's only $50, fine. And then roll it over.
And that's the thing with the CDs, you can, or just like anything else, you can do the recurring monthly. So it's important that you actually let it ride out. And that's going to be the hard part, is having that self-discipline to not take the money out.
To not take the money out.
Because you're also going to get, with the CD specifically, you're also going to get a penalty if you try to take it out early.
Right. That's what did in Silicon Valley Bank. It wasn't a CD. They were in treasuries, which we'll get into later. They were in a 10-year treasury, to the tune of $80 billion. They made a bad bet. You know what I mean? And they had to liquidate that, and they had to take a huge penalty. So making all this, instead of having this huge credit, like this huge win, they had a huge loss. Brother Jose's in the house. I don't know if I gave you that, bro, but there you go. Always good to see you. Credit unions faster. Facts. So now we know, like, okay, at 18 years old, and I guess this is for our, our younger selves, or maybe our kids, our nephews and nieces out there, or just young people we're mentoring. At 18 years old, and bro, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move it up to like 25 years old. But at 18 years old, let's say I'm working at an hourly job. I'm making whatever minimum wage is these days. I don't know what minimum wage is. So what would, if an 18-year-old is making, help me out in the chat, y'all. How much a week does an 18-year-old would be making minimum wage? Right?
Probably like what? Maybe you can probably make it what, 500 a month, maybe?
500
a week.
A week. Okay, so you're making $500 a week. Right? It's a couple grand a month. We haven't talked about taxes. Let's just say your take home is Let's just say your take home is $500 a week. They should be putting away at least 300 of that, you're saying? And they shouldn't touch the CDs or the IRAs just yet, the Roth IRAs?
So I would, if you're feeling risky, or you're feeling like you want to do it, I would definitely open up the CDs. But again, stay away early. Don't even bother with the brokerage account, because you're going to psychologically mess yourself up. Unfortunately, guys, the money is strategic, and there's going to be times where you're going to have to make up scenarios in your head to keep yourself motivated. Right. So at 18 years old, let's say I get the Capital One or the Bilt credit card, right? With Capital One, I'm also going to open up the 360 savings account, which I have now. Here's why. If I already know, like I told you, I got my streaming services being paid through the Capital One credit card, right? Well, now I'm going to have, let's say I got 300, that sounds like let's bring it up, 150 worth of streaming services, right? I'm going to have $150 paid off every single month in the Capital One credit card. Well, instead, I'm going to transfer about 155 automatically to the Capital One 360 savings account. And then I'm going to be paying my credit card from that savings account. Why? Because that money is going to be sitting in that 360 savings account. And guess what? What if I don't have my credit card? I pay off my total balance every month. But what if my total balance of the budget isn't maxed out? Well, now that's a couple of dollars. Maybe that's $10, $15 that's now sitting in the savings account. And that's an easy way to automatically save without even trying.
All right, now run that by one more time. Just a little bit, break it down. So you said 360, this 360 program, this 360 account. Now, is this is with a certain company or bank or?
Yeah, so Capital One has a savings account, right? Or they have obviously your credit cards and everything. They also have a savings account. I believe it's called the 360. It's just like the 360 or whatever it is. But basically, it's just a high yield savings account. So if you're going to have the credit card through there, instead of having your money being transferred directly from your checkings account straight to the Capital One card, you have your money transferred from your checking or your savings account where you get your direct deposit. You have that going to your 360 savings account, and then you pay your credit card balance from the savings account from the same institution, right? Because then you're going to have money, you're going to have compounded interest in that savings account. The money's going to get paid through the credit card, and then whatever you have left over is just an easy way to do it. So for example, right? Big picture, I got American Express. I had a high yield American Express card.
Here we go right here, bro. Here we go right here. Yep. Capital One 360 Performance Savings. Now you are a part of this.
Yes.
Okay. So
now
right now it
real quick. I've had my account open for a while. Everybody, you see the APY, the 3.4%. Remember, with the savings account, those goes up and down with the federal interest rates. So when the interest
rates going up right now,
Okay. So when the interest rates was really low, that's why holding money in a savings account wasn't really advantage because you was maybe getting like 0.4% or something like that. It wasn't matching the rate of inflation. Typically, the rate of inflation year to year is anywhere between 3 to 6%. So right now at 3.4%, right, you're actually going to have your money trying to at least track with the market and you're not losing money. So this is a really good rate right now.
Right, 3.4, and it's going to go up because the Fed just went up
Yep.
25 basis points, and then they're going to start dropping the interest rates here probably before the end of the year, but they're indicating they're going to keep going up. So
Yep.
this is not an advertisement for Capital One. We're not paid by Capital One. We're just having a conversation. Taroos is familiar with this.
Yep.
So it gives you easy account transfers. You move your money between linked Capital One accounts or external bank accounts, automatic savings plans. Keep your online savings account growing with automatic transfers. And this is what you were saying. So you had everything
Yep.
kind of dumped to that. Multiple accounts, create multiple performance savings accounts for each of your for your financial goals, for each of your financial goals.
Only need
And,
one.
okay. And mobile check deposit, deposit almost anywhere, anytime. Just take a picture of the check and deposit, and with your phone for deposit. So this has worked for you.
Yeah, this is one of my portfolios, by the way, because I want to make sure we diversify our portfolio, and we're going to do this early, guys. And I'm going to make sure to teach you guys how I got my portfolio diversified. It's going to be real fun.
Okay. Okay. Because I was gonna try to, hey guys, I was gonna try to pop that in there, but it's Capital One. You can just find out on your own. I was gonna link it, but the link was like real long. I don't know if it would have fit in there.
Yeah.
So okay. And I'm pretty sure that there are other entities that probably offer something similar to this. This is the
American
one that brought us
Express.
to American Express. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So all right. So your strategy is to keep your savings funded and going as much as you can, pay from savings and kind of move all the money through savings. Is that pretty much the gist of it?
Yes. So I use real world examples. I got Navy Federal Credit Union. That's where my income comes in, right? That's where I get my deposits. So with my mentality, my Navy Federal Credit Union is simply a vault. That money that's where the money comes in and bigger transactions come out. So I got my money coming into the checkings account. Then I know that, okay, I got this credit card from Capital One. I got this credit card from Amex, and I also have the Wells Fargo autograph card, right? And so guess what? That corresponds. That also means I got the Wells Fargo savings account. I got the American Express savings account. So every time I get paid, I know that I'm going to pay my total balances for the Wells Fargo card, for the Amex card, for the Capital One. The reason why I have the Amex card, 3 times cash back on groceries, 3 times cash back at gas stations, and you also get a statement balance every year depending on how much you have coming out of your savings account. So if let's say you have $1,000 credit card limit on one of your Amex cash preferred cards, right? Then you have an Amex high yield savings account. Well, I'm going to transfer $1,000 from my Navy Federal to my Amex high yield savings account, and then from there, I'm going to pay off my total balance to the Amex card. Now, if I'm not maxed out, guess what? That maybe let's say instead of $1,000, I got $850. Well, now I got $150 sitting in that high yield savings account, right? Compounding interest combined with the rest of the money that was just sitting there compounding interest. Same thing with the Wells Fargo. I'm going to pay my autograph card every single month. Well, I put my money transferred through the high yield savings account from Wells Fargo, and then pay it from there. That way I'm compounding interest, and then bam, I got 4 different, I call them renewable resources, right? I consider my Navy Federal my nuclear power plant. And what am I trying to do? I'm trying to make my nuclear power plant a reserve because I want to use my solar energy, my wind energy, right? My renewable energy. That's what my Wells Fargo, the Capital One, the Amex is, right? Those are my different sources of renewable energy sources. That way I'm just building up reserves in the Navy Federal just in case.
And that's what's up, man. And we're not gonna do another example of this so particular to you because you got haters out there, bro, and I don't want them coming after you and coming after your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we'll just make up different banks
All
next
right.
time in credit unions. I was trying to stop you, but I'm like, I don't want to stop this flow.
Man,
This is
it's
good.
cool. Hey, I got all that ID protection anyway, so
Oh, perfect.
I'm
That's
good.
what's up.
Yeah.
And see, brother Jose is saying, if the young person can take advantage of a 401 once work full time, that is best way to go max the match rate. Yes, but here's the thing though: it's hard to find full time jobs, and it's hard to find corporations that will do the matching. But I agree with you, bro. And speaking of that, before I forget, the FAA is hiring air traffic controllers, y'all. They have another hire coming up. I have to go get that information. So be expecting another show. Go back and watch the show we did about working, like being an air traffic controller in the process. The process is the same. Is that they do these hirings, they're getting real aggressive and trying to hire more air traffic controllers. It's a great career. All you need is a high school diploma. You get paid training, and you get, once you complete all that, you get placed. And man, it's a great job. It is an outstanding career, very rewarding career. It's stressful. It's
And
stressful, but
remember, guys, the federal government, just like most employers, you get in there, they'll match your 401k contributions, right?
yes,
So this, unfortunately, most people aren't going to have access to a 401k plan unless they have like a full-time, like a salaried position, right? So this is more probably after college, or unless you get lucky and you get a federal job and everything like that. But you want to max out your 401k, and that's perfect because remember, you get your 401k, your employer's matching that, and typically your company's also going to have a pension plan. So long term, you're going to have your 401k, your pension, and Social Security to draw on at minimum when you retire.
when you retire, that's facts there. So so thanks for that. And brother Jose is saying Capital One 360 used to be ING Online Savings. Okay, cool. We got G Complex in the house. What's good, fam? Also, another great resource when it comes to personal finance and financial planning. G Complex 217. He and I did a show, and he does some coaching, financial coaching, and talks about financial literacy. Same stuff, y'all. So please, and actually, he and I are gonna do a show tomorrow. Nothing to do with finances, y'all. We're gonna be talking about womanizing a little bit, but you know what I mean. We'll open it up to whatever. Capital One has one of the better savings account rates right there. See, and brother Nidish is in the house. What's good, fam? Salute to you as well. Brother Jose put the Capital One in. Hey, thank you so much for that, brother. I was going to try to do it. I thought it was too long. So there's a link right there for you. If you guys are interested, might want to go look at it, get some more research. Again, we're not pros. We're simply sharing our experiences, moving through life. And here's the thing: go out there and do your research. And if you find something that's kind of off, tell us. Y'all know I'm on here 4 days a week at least. Come back and tell me, hey, this is what's going on, man. It's bogus, it's cap, it's whatever. That. And that's how we share information, and that's how we get ahead.
And let me know too, because I'm always trying to learn and adjust, always adapt and evolve.
Absolutely. G Complex 217. Jose agreed on a 401k match for employers free money. If you can find those jobs, get it. Young people, I tell folks all the time, United States military, bro, TSP, that's it right there. And especially when you don't know what you're going to do, at least you're getting in there, you're getting some real time experience. You're on your own. You can make some mistakes, and you ain't got to worry about losing your house because you're in the barracks. So
and if you're 18, most likely, especially today, your parents are cool. They're not trying to kick you out the house early. And so this is why I say blow your first couple paychecks. Just get it out your system. All right. Anybody trying to tell you to save all your money, you know you're not going to do that. And you're only gonna screw up your own routine and your own movement if you do that. You're not going to build any momentum. You're going to discourage yourself a lot. And again, it's just going to make your separation anxiety with your money even worse.
Yeah, and that's wonderful 34. At 17, 18, I will be teaching how to be responsible with paying bills and a little savings. Kids have to feel the separation from their money. And that's what Brother Taroos is talking about. And I agree 100%. I came up in an era where it was like, bro, just spend, 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 spend. I had no plan. I'm just keeping 100. I had no plan. I got into the FAA and I started making real good money. Everyone talks about six figures and all that, right? I got destroyed in taxes. I didn't know what was coming up. I didn't understand money. I didn't understand what was going on. And I got just wrecked. But you know what I mean? If 17, 18 years old, and you're listening to this content, or you're listening to when Fresh and Fit talks about credit cards and the importance of credit, or when Ben Mahler talks about it, or you know what I mean, Peter Schiff, if you're listening to financial people, you're already off to a good start.
Yep.
Because I was listening to thugs. I was listening to the street dudes, and that was a different way of getting money. It's a different way of money moving. So you know,
And I was
no one was
learning.
talking
Hey,
about
at
that.
least you had an example, because I was learning straight trial and error.
Yeah, man, yeah, same thing. It's same thing, bro. You know what I mean, brother Jose Facts, free money at G Complex. Sister Candy's in the building. What's good, love? Always a pleasure to see you. Good evening to you as well. Brother Jose, bro, you can learn something straight alpha. These are gems. Yeah, straight alpha just wants attention, y'all. You know, one day straight alpha tell us who they really are and stop trolling. You know what I mean? Because all are welcome here. It just every night, you know, if hey, straight alpha, if you know, I mean, you know, I see the stuff you're saying. It's just straight troll stuff. I can tell you haven't been around people with money.
What did he say?
It's friendly trolling stuff. It ain't worth it. You know what I mean? But I see everything you type in there straight off. And if you say something real, I'll highlight it and we'll talk about it. But like, you know, this is a very high IQ conversation. And like I said, I know you troll. I'm sure you taking notes. You know, you looking at all this stuff too, like Capital One, huh? Let me get in there and figure this out. I ain't mad at you. Cars in the house. What's good, fam? Getting a leg up on legacy, best way to run a family. Absolutely. So, and it's always good to see my Fresh and Fit fam up in here. You know what I mean? It's always good to see my Suzette Speaks fam up in here, the Suzette Speakers. You know what I mean? Always good. So, all right. So we talked about 18, like that's how we would do it. So let's say you've moved on, you're 25 years old, you're single, you're living on your own. How much money? And we're talking about like for you, like this is just your ideal. This is not, you know, no hard written rule. How much money would you like to see in savings by that point? By the time you hit 25, you're on your own. And let's say you found yourself an entry level position. So, you know, now is the stuff that Brother Jose was saying. Okay, you got 401k, and you know, with the corporation and all that kind of stuff, maybe salary. You know, you're just kind of starting to work your way up the corporate ladder. How much money would you like to see in your savings account?
So actually, we need to back up a little bit. Okay. Because at 25, I'm telling everybody, this is the part where at 18, 19, 20 years old, I'm actually might say something a little bit controversial. Especially if you're a guy, do not go to college in your first year. Here's why. Guys, you know how painful, remember how painful it was sitting in school, grade school, for 12 years straight, right? Especially for guys, we like working with our hands. I know there's a lot of women who like working their hands too, unless you want to get a head start because you already have an idea what you want to do, such as medical school, things like that. Me at 18, I'm not going to school straight out. I'm going to get one job full-time or 2 part-time jobs. And the only thing I'm doing is I'm stacking bread, because I'm going to try to have an idea of what I want to do. Okay, here's the college in the area. Here's what I kind of want to do. Here's this 4-year degree. I'm going to put it on the back burner, right? I'm also going to look at trade. I'm going to look at electrician, any sort of apprenticeships like plumbing, electricity, heating and cooling. Why? Because especially trades, they pay so much money, and you're not going to you're going to be 20, 21 years old, making $40,000, $50,000 with no student loans. See, this is the part that gets people tripped up with savings, because at 25, living on their own, they got 30, 40, 50, 60K plus in student loan debt. So they can't even afford to save. So right now, if you're young, or if you're young enough, I'm looking at trade schools. Right now, those jobs are everywhere. The apprenticeships, there's a whole bunch of things, like you can use your Pell Grant and you don't even have to pay a lot for college and everything. So look at the community college route before you go straight into a 4-year degree. So you want to set yourself up. That way, you know, you plant the seeds. That way you're already thinking about it, right? And then after you give yourself a solid year of building a routine, building a momentum, having that snowball effect, then you can jump to the next decision, right? So then instead of trying to graduate with a bachelor's degree, say 23, 24, you actually graduated 24, 25, if that's the way you want to go. Or if you go through the trade, well, guess what? You're already started your trade at your apprenticeship, and you already got your full-time gig at like 21, 22. And so now you've already put yourself 4 to 5 years ahead of everyone else, simply because you just played it smart and you just focus on building yourself up. Because guys, when you're able to build a small routine, just putting 25 bucks in that savings account, 50 bucks in that savings account, and you're able to consistently do it, that's a confidence builder. Because everything, you got to have the confidence in yourself before you worry about anything else. You got to have the confidence within yourself to know that you can do it. And that's why you build up that momentum. So by the age of 25, you should already have that built MasterCard, and you're paying your rent through that. You should already have at least 2 credit cards, one that's straight up reward points, one that's a that's cash rewards. And then at 20, and at 21, that's when I'm opening up the brokerage account.
At 21. Okay, that's what's up, bro. I gotta give you that. That was fire. And I'm gonna say this. I know there's gonna be someone out there watching this, or someone out there in team replay. Man, he crazy. You better go to college. We all know, unless you're going to college for STEM, and unless you got a 4-year full ride scholarship, it's a hustle, baby. It's a hustle, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So I gotta agree with you, bro. What you just said. Now, again, if you're an athlete and you got a 4-year ride to whatever school, yes, go right into college, right out of school. Right. Go do it. Pick a good major. You know what I mean? If you have the time, you have the intelligence, you have the drive, and they can get you an academic scholarship, even a partial one, but it's STEM, I would say, okay, go ahead in there. Yep. Go ahead and make that happen. And just watch how much.
If you're going to go the route of going straight into school and you have to take out student loans, people, please, for the love of God, take your student loan refund. That's probably going to be at least $3,000. And I want you to go open up a Vanguard account. Go get you a Vanguard mutual fund. Call it a day. All right. Please do not take your student loan refund and go blow that in Miami or Cancun, because you are just playing yourself. All right. I see way too many people who take their student loan refunds and they go on these extravagant trips and everything like that. That's the early boost you need, right? To get ahead. Maybe put that in a savings account already growing. Open up that brokerage account with that money and already have it going. Or hell, at least get yourself a decent ride, right? But too many people take that student loan refund and it just goes to nothing.
Wow, that's what's up. Yeah, I heard that, man. And Taroos, do me a favor, man. I was trying to find some on Vanguard, because can we put some in the chat, like exactly what you mean, like, on Vanguard, real quick?
So what I have, guys, is called I go through Vanguard with my Amex. So I'm an American. I love American Express. I have what's called an American Express Invest brokerage account. What that is American Express partners up with Vanguard, and Vanguard, it takes $3,000 to open up this. It's a Vanguard portfolio, and it's an automatic investment account, and you can have recurring investments, but you need $3,000, because just like if you use Robinhood or E-Trade to buy your stocks, if you try to buy a Vanguard mutual fund, it costs $3,000 minimum. So the reason why I have my American Express Invest combined with Vanguard is because, guess what? Depending on how much money you have in your brokerage account, you actually get a statement balance into your savings account. And then depending on how much you have in the savings account every single year, you get a statement balance in your credit. So you're just getting free money just by having your money parked there, right? And the reason why I say Vanguard, guys, there is absolutely such thing as too big to fail. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Vanguard has been around longer than we've been alive, and guess what? They're going to be around long after we die. Guys, if they look like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, that's where you invest your money in, right? So you want to put your money into the shady corporate banks. Yeah, you put your money in there, because guess what? They're going to get bailed out first. Vanguard, BlackRock, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, those sort of institutions, especially the Berkshire Hathaways, you want to put your money into there because guess what? Those are people who only care about money. So you put your money with people who only care about making money.
Yo, I hope y'all listening, y'all. And this is not, again, we're not endorsing. We're simply giving you guys some options, something to think about. Again, I'm trying to put something in the chat right now. That's why you see me looking away from y'all. But I'm just trying to put something in there. And there's some more to it I'm gonna put in there in a second. But yo, this is some good information stuff. This is stuff that I knew absolutely nothing about when I came out of high school, when I went to the United States Army. I knew nothing about this, man. Nothing. So I hope that this is helping someone out there. I truly do. Let's see. G Complex 217, a gap year isn't as popular here as it is in the US. And that's the gap years when kids come out of high school, they take time off, they travel, they see the world before they go off to university or what we call college. It should be popular here, but Americans are taught to
we
just
need to make that popular.
work. Yeah, Americans are just taught to work. And that's another thing too. The rest of the world looks at America like we're the short bus kids, and we are because we're so dumb over here, man. We're so dumb. My daughter's in school. She gets all this extra help and everything, and she would get so frustrated, and I would sit her down and turn on YouTube, and we can see grown-ups, college kids, who can't tell you basic stuff. They can't tell you if the world is flat or not. They can't tell you if the sun revolves around the earth or does the earth revolve around the sun. Grown-ups, they can't tell you what 3 times 3 times 3 is. Grown-ups, they don't know who fought in the American Civil War. Right? This is y'all seeing the YouTube clips and the videos of the guy say, "Hey, what state is Utah in?" Even my daughter was like, "Papa, isn't Utah a state?" I'm like, yeah. And you're in middle school, and these grown-ups don't know it. America, we are dumb, and we applaud it, and we you know what I mean? It's kind of like you go dumb American. So we need to change that. Thank goodness for YouTube. YouTube can be good and bad. Hopefully we can use it for good right now. So G Complex trades are definitely a great option for guys, trade schools, and girls too. Hey, ladies, you could be a plumber. Guess what? If you're a plumber and you're female, you're going to get more work than your male counterpart because they need women. There are set-asides. It is what it is.
And women, remember, modern technology, it ain't like the dirty jobs 40, 50 years ago. A lot of these trades you can absolutely do.
Yeah, probably could get yourself a robot to do it for you. And all you got to do is program a robot. Tech stuff, y'all. You know what I mean? The AI is here. The future is here, right? Someone's going to have to fix the computers until the computers make computers to do it. So there's someone for that to do the programming and stuff like that, y'all. Start thinking about it. Sister Candace, Win Trade Schools, W Trade Schools. You know what I mean? Brother Jose is talking about search. Absolutely. Car, Indeed Trains, concessions, a great personal investment for instilling a business. Yeah, bro, G Complex. People can always go to college later. Yes. And guess what? When you go to college later, you're more mature and more focused, and you know that's your money. And there's nothing wrong with city colleges, man. There's nothing wrong with the junior colleges and the state colleges. You don't need to go to Notre Dame. You don't need to go to University of Southern California. You don't need to go to Harvard, Yale, or Brown. You don't.
And again, obviously everyone's situation is different. But if you can go to a 4-year university that's down the street, you know how much money you're going to save by not going to the dorm room, guys? That's literally it almost costs as much, if not more, than the tuition itself.
Here's an idea for you, Taroos. Let's say this. Let's say you're young, right? And you're going to go to college, right? And I would say this. Find out how much it costs to go to Ohio State, if that's where you want to go, or University of Florida, or whatever you want to go. And then see how much it costs to go to the state school right down the street, or the city college, or whatever. Go to the lesser's college, take the difference, and put it into a Vanguard account.
Exactly. And yeah, and I know some people are going to have this fear of missing out. You want the dorm room experience. You want the 4-year out the gate. Guys, we have to change our mentality. Community college is where it's at. You're going to save money with the Pell Grants and other scholarships. You might not even come out of pocket for the schools. You could take all your general ed classes and actually figure out, because sometimes you'll get to school and you'll be like, man, I actually don't want to do this. I actually want to get into something else. Those are the kind of things you want to do in a community college, not in a four-year university where you're already paying at least $35K a year and already drowning in debt before you're old enough to drink.
Right. And Brother Taroos mentioned the student loan debt after, like earlier on. He's like, you're going to come out, you're going to have all the student loan debt, 50, 60, 70,000, 100,000 plus student loan debt, right? And here's the thing. What he didn't talk about was all the unsecured credit that you're also going to have. You're going to have that Discovery. You're going to have those Visas. You're going to have those MasterCards. You're going to have all that debt too. You know what I mean? Which isn't student loan debt, because they're just going to give you the credit cards because you're a student. So keep that in mind. Again, these are mistakes that I made. I made some dumb mistakes, y'all. Dumb mistakes, but I was able to overcome those mistakes a little bit. Sister Candace, I hate that many of my age group was sold the dream, aka nightmare, that a college degree was the only way you could succeed in life. They did sell that dream to us. Miss Globe Girls in the house, my favorite. Sailor, what's good, love? Hey, we still got that bet. Don't forget, man, you're going to owe me $100, man, in a couple of years, man, because Sierra and Russell Wilson ain't going to make it. Brother Jose is just saying how everybody's showing love. Sister Candace, someone give Brother Taroos and Don DeMarco, but only if his Christmas tree is down. Now, that Christmas tree is still up. I know it's up, but I ain't even been
I'm about to put that Christmas tree up on the 4th of July. You keep playing with me, Candace. I'm going to have it up in the summertime.
And Sister Candace, I'm gonna get a Don DeMarco button. I'm gonna do it. I have more. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 more buttons which hold. That's like 4 more sounds I could put in. So I'm gonna get that Don DeMarco button. I should have it by the end of the week. And I'm still gonna do the I haven't forgotten about your love. I'm still gonna do the Rolo thing on Dr. Phil or whatever. My bad. I just couldn't find the one. I couldn't find one I wanted to react to, but I'm still going to do it because I said I would. And I love you because you were day one. I'm going to do it. Brother Cody's Kings in the house. What's good, fam?
Cody.
You know what I mean? G Complex 217, VTSAX.
That's the stock ticker for Vanguard. That's one.
That's the stock. Okay. Yeah. That's the stock ticker for Vanguard. Okay, cool.
So
go ahead.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Vanguard. So if you want to use the stock ticker for the mutual funds are automatic 3K investment. Now here's what's fun. Once you open it up, the mutual fund with 3K, you could just let it sit there, or you could just have a recurring investment of $50 every month if you want. It's just
in Vanguard for real?
Yeah, you just need the initial 3K. Or let's say you got E-Trade or Robinhood. You can find the ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. Right, it's basically the same as a mutual fund, except it trades like a stock. So you can find a correlation stock ticker that tracks the same way. So for example, you can have a mutual fund that tracks the index, or you can find the same Vanguard ETF that tracks like the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, all those different things. And so you can have the tracker for emerging markets. You can have the tracker for bonds. You can have the tracker for real estate and things like that.
Oh, that's what's up. Sister Rollins is in the house. What's good, love? Always a pleasure to see you. Priest Taroos, if your employer's 401k has a match, go forward. Sister Roslyn, put your link in the chat, please. Everyone, please go over to Sister Roslyn's YouTube channel and subscribe, please. Go check her out. She's in these trenches, and I know how hard it is because I'm in these trenches too. You know what I mean? So, sis, please go ahead and put your link in the chat so you can get some people come over there and support. Sister Roslyn, my uncle had Vanguard for years. He had enough to pay for his and his wife's long-term health care expenses. Ooh, that's good. Because that's just another way to kind of put money aside. It's like an emergency kind of fund kind of thing, and it can help out later in life. Or if you don't have any emergencies, later in life, you're like, you know what? I want to go to, I don't know, you pick the Maldives. I want to go to the Maldives. Boom, we got this Vanguard to do it. And, everyone's healthy, so let's go do it. And then I put that little bit of information in there about Vanguard, guys. There's some more I'm going to put in there too. I couldn't put all of it in at once. Just want to catch up with the chat, and I'm going to let Taroos get back to cooking. Brother Cody is king. I'm going to have to watch the first hour on replay. Yes, sir. Please do. Because Taroos came in hard, bro. He came in hard with it, like giving us the real, all the sauce. Please hit the like button, y'all. Please, please, please. Brother Jose, people be getting degrees in custodial arts for no reason. Right. I'm going to get a degree.
And that goes back to what Candace was saying earlier. My generation or my parents always pushed college. But like Candace, I think would agree with me. Nobody told us what degree. to get in. So you got a bunch of people with communication degrees or degrees that don't even, they're just glorified high school diplomas, right?
Yeah.
They didn't tell us, hey, STEM is where you need to go into. Or if you're going to get a business administration, pair that with an MBA or pair that with some certifications and things like that. They just said, go to college with no outline. It wrecked a lot of people.
They said go to college and we'll give you all this money. And it by give you means we'll give you a loan. And when you come out of college, we're gonna put all this interest on there,
Yeah.
bro. It's a big hustle, man. I went to school for a few semesters and until I got hired by the FA, and I never looked back. And I've come across people who they define themselves by the fact that they went to school. I'm like, that's great. You went to college and you have a BA in this and a master's in that. That's great. But I make 3 times what you make, and I have a high school diploma. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's not mine is bigger than yours. I'm just saying, shut up. You know what I mean? Someone got hustled here. That's all I'm saying. You keep talking. I'm finna jump in my BMW, go to the airport, go to Vegas. I'm gonna waste your whole year of money. All you done made, all the money you done made this year, I'm finna go blow it in Vegas. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so go ahead and do that. And I only do that to people who be trying to talk that madness, y'all. I don't be looking for the smoke, but when you want to bring it to me, oh, I'm gonna show it to you. Like, oh, okay. Once you get back there all the way up in the nosebleeds, I'm down here with Jordan.
Because some
You
people,
know?
some of y'all got degrees, right? And stuff that doesn't matter. And so the degree only proves one thing, that you're really good at doubling down on bad decision making. Because you got a degree that wasn't even worth it. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And it sucks. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It was a trap. And too bad no one was able to warn you. That's what we're trying to do right here. Brother Pitney Jules in the house. What's good, fam? Oops, that's the wrong button. What's good, fam? Did 2 years community college, then transferred to a major university, graduated with less than $2K in student loans, and paid them off within the first 3 months of working. Yeah, I need a Don DeMarco button. That's a Don DeMarco right there, bro. That's a Don DeMarco right there, bro. That's how you do it. And people out there, young people, even older people, if you think about going to school, you're gonna go the route. Make sure that your credits transfer to whatever the university is. Most universities have a state school or a program where you go in there and you get all that stuff and it transfers. They have the program set up. So once you're in the transfer, you go to the smaller school, do all that stuff, and then like your third year, you've earned your associate, and then you take that right over to the university, and then you continue on. 2 more years and you've earned your bachelor's. So just make sure you do the work.
For the specific example of what DL's telling you guys, here in Cleveland, Ohio, if you go to Cuyahoga Community College or Lakeland Community College, all of those general ed courses transfers directly to Cleveland State, Ohio University, and Ohio State. So you save a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, and Pitney was saying that ETFs are more liquid and often have a lower cost basis than the mutual funds. Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna get into that.
So with the ETFs and the mutual funds, I know you gotta get to the chats. It's just I see it and it's true. So, but here's the thing. Sometimes with the ETFs, you gotta look at what's called the expense ratios. Because every single year it might be like 0.96, it could be 0.73, it could be over 1%. You gotta watch out with the expense ratios when it comes to the ETFs. With the mutual funds, especially with Vanguard, they're actively traded mutual funds. So it's somebody actually behind there balancing the portfolio and everything like that. And sometimes the mutual fund the expense ratio might actually be lower than the ETF. So sometimes you just got to check on that.
That's what's up. That's fine. And we're caught up pretty much. We got Sister Candace here. A student loan is the only loan they will freely give you without proof of funds or credit history. It's predatory lending, and absolutely, Brother Taroos, no direction. Just go to college. Yep, that's how it is. And Brother Jason, at least go hit up some prerequisites. Absolutely. Right. Do your research on whatever it is you're doing. Do your research. There is no such thing as the wrong move if you did your research and it makes sense for you. If you're like, I got a plan for all this debt. All right, cool. Do you. But just don't go in blindly like a whole generation. They tried to get me on that. And I fell for it, but I was a vet. So I just had to enlist in the Ohio National Guard, and they paid for all of my, all of my school stuff. Yep. And I had the VA, my VA, like I'm sorry, my not the VA, but I didn't have the college fund, but I had what's the one for school?
The GI Bill.
GI Bill. Yep. The GI Bill I had was just garbage. The GI Bill you have is great, but the GI Bill I had was garbage. That wasn't even enough to pay for beer. So I enlisted in the Ohio National Guard, and they paid for me to go to the University of Cincinnati. And it was like very little overlap. And the money that I borrowed It was just me being stupid. Just me. I took out student loans and just went out, was like, you know what I mean? Doing stupid stuff with it. But I had to pay it back. but so, all right. So we talked about 20. So we talked about 18. Then we talked about 21. Like, so you were saying, all right, you have to do these things. That's what got us talking about college and all that. All right. Are we ready to talk about 25 now?
Yeah, we get to 25. So let's say you haven't felt up the need to open up any brokerage account, but you're already in the rhythm with the savings account. First off, statistically, and my stats might be off, so chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think something like 43% of Americans can afford $1,000 expense, and something like only 63% Americans can afford a $500 emergency expense. Guys, you will not be one of them, and you need to tell yourself that you will not be that statistic, right? It does not take long to build some sort of emergency fund, and it doesn't need to be a lot of money, because you don't want too much money sitting in a savings account, because it's not going to grow all that much. But you need to have enough money to cover a oh shit occurrence. You have to, right? But overall, let's say you're at 25, that's when you really need to get your Robinhood, your E-Trade, whatever brokerage account you feel safe enough, open that. And if you don't want to learn about the stock market and things like that, just open up a robo account and call it a day. You'll be fine.
Absolutely. And Brother Mark is like, I come up, but I'm doing some PT cardio session with my dog. I ain't mad at you, bro. Handle that. Wonderful 34 has some pushback, but bro, this ain't even pushback. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even consider this pushback right here. Wonderful 34. Have to push back on the college thing. Attend the college with the mindset that will get you where you want to go, because university name makes a difference, worth the money. I agree. Again, I'm saying what we were talking about was in general for those. Remember, we said for those people who just were going without a plan, just mindlessly going out there taking loans and this and that. And remember, I said the thing about the 4-year college, like, okay, if you have a scholarship, like an athletic scholarship or an academic scholarship or a music scholarship, and that's going to get you into, one of the big name schools, but still you need to have a plan. You need to know how to network. I agree with you wholeheartedly, bro. If I had a degree from Harvard, y'all wouldn't even be talking to me right now.
But it also depends on what degree you got from Harvard.
Here's my thing, though. I don't even care. I could have taken that custodial degree so long as it came from Harvard. I'm going to parlay that through my networking abilities into something major, because it's Harvard. That school, that environment allowed me to rub elbows with the 1%. Right? You know what I'm saying? But you got to have a plan now. You can't just run in there thinking, well, this degree, I got a degree, and the world is just going to open up. No, you still have to put in the work and work your plan. Go ahead, bro.
And so wonderful. I mean, again, that's, like Dio said, it's not really a pushback. It's just what I want my young my 18, 19-year-olds coming fresh out of high school. Do not be afraid to take a year off and decompress. Remember, you've been going to school for 12 years straight, sitting in the classroom for 8 hours a day. There is nothing wrong with just going to get a job at retail, because you need the customer service experience anyway. You need to have something on your resume. There is nothing wrong with just taking a step back from school and just decompress and then try, because actually when you take that year off, you're probably going to actually appreciate the money you're spending going to college a lot more than if you just went straight out of high school.
Yep. And like we said, like Wonderful 34, I'm not pushing back at all. I get it. If my daughter came to me and said, Papa, I got a plan. I'm going to go to this school. I'm going to go to Brown. This is how I'm going to do it. I just need you to help me out financially with this part. I already have mentors there. I already have this, that, and the third. This is what I'm going to study, and this is what I'm going to do after. If my daughter came to me with that, I got her. Here you go. Here you go. I will take care of that, whatever I got to do to help her execute that plan. But if she comes to me and just says, I want to go to the Ivy League because I saw it on TikTok. Nah, you going to City College.
Nah.
You going to Ivy League City College right over here in West Chase, Tampa. You can go over there, you know what I mean? Because you ain't got no plan. So,
And that's the
go
thing
ahead.
people got to remember. Wonderful. Yes, the college name works, but I need to emphasize, guys, it matters if you pair it with, or if you got a law degree, sure. If you got a STEM degree, sure. I want everybody to go look up how broke these Harvard graduates are with their political science degrees. They drowning in debt because guess what? The same crap they learned in Harvard is the same political crap you can learn watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, and I think that again, correct me if I'm wrong, Wonderful, because Brother Wonderful would probably say this because this is what I'm thinking. If I came out of Harvard or Yale or UPenn or Brown with a political science degree, right? I'm sitting there in the office of AOC. I'm sitting in the office of, you know what I mean?
As an
Who's this?
unpaid intern.
Yes, at first, but I'm gonna have a plan. Like I said, I'm gonna be out here hustling and doing my own thing. I'm gonna be rubbing elbows with Kevin McCarthy and all those multi-billionaires that are buying him because y'all know how I feel about politicians. They're all about to pay for it. I'm gonna be rubbing elbows with, AOC and all those billionaires that are, buying and paying her. And guess what? I'm gonna land on K Street because I got a plan. And I think that's what Wonderful 34 is saying. There is value in that, but you must have a plan. Simply because you have an Ivy League education and or degree does not guarantee you success. And that goes back to Brother Taroos' point. So I think we're on the same page. We've kind of beat that up a little bit, but I think we're on the same page. It all boils down to the plan itself. And that's what we're talking about. Finance, we're talking about finance 101. The stuff that, man, I wish, wouldn't it have been nice? Wouldn't it have been great if they had someone like me and Taroos, someone with education, of course, someone with
somebody actually like educated on it,
right? In high school, in middle school, getting these kids ready, talking about credit, talking about what the stock market, talking about what these percentage rates means, talking about Vanguard, TSP, Roth IRAs, CDs. Why is it that that's not part of the curriculum that we send our kids off of? Aren't we supposed to be teaching our kids? I got to teach my daughter this stuff. She's not learning this stuff in school. You know what I mean? So this is what I mean about Americans, man.
And I completely agree. Like, I understand taxes is going to be a complicated thing, but one thing I never understood is why we don't start budgeting, like simple budgeting courses, and starting in middle school, right? Just planting the seed of of a spreadsheet of the expense ratio. Now, maybe they're doing that now. I'm not sure. They're not doing it in my daughter's school right now. But like, for example, if I was in charge of an administration, first thing I would be doing is putting more financial classes up into maybe 5th grade into middle school, as well as a lot of coding programs as well, just to get familiarized with the computer.
My daughter has a coding class down here in Florida.
Yeah.
My daughter, and she's doing really well. She's in the coding class. It blew my mind, and she's really excelling. Like, she's doing really well, and she likes it. It's like, I'm like, wow. But again, we moved into one of the best districts. We're in Florida. Hi, Governor DeSantis. We're in Florida, and teachers are leaving the state. But we got lucky. Again, we did our research. We talked to our people. We landed in an area where we're gonna, get the best opportunity we can. So yeah, she does have a coding class, which is great. Brother Pitney, for any vets looking to make a career change without shelling out money for college, the post 9/11 GI Bill can put you through a coding boot camp. Which, hey, if you can, do it. I don't think I qualify because I fought Desert Storm, but I don't think I qualify for the post 9/11 stuff. Even though I am a veteran of a foreign war,
but you should qualify for what's called vocational rehab, which is almost another 12 to 48 months of educational benefits. You should still have that.
I'm gonna look into it. And it doesn't hurt. Any vets out there, like old vets like me, go to the VA and just ask. Just go online and just look. You will be surprised what's out there for us. And I'm looking into stuff right now. Like, if I can find me a grant so I can build this platform, best believe I'll do a show on it. Like, look how much money the government gave me. we gonna build this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wonderful 34. More doors that are open, and yes, have a plan. Yep. So I think we're on the same thing. Brother Jose, secure credit cards. Before we move on to because we said we're gonna move into 25. We haven't said we should be doing for like 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Before we do you want to touch on secure credit cards real quick?
So, if at all possible, if you can avoid a secured credit card, like there are some cards I want you guys to stay away from. But if you can get at 18, 19 years old, if you can get a little $300 credit limit from a Capital One unsecured card, that's the best way to go, right? Or get like an unsecured credit card from your bank. That would be the better way to go. Typically, a secured credit card is for people with you got absolutely zero credit, or you're already starting in the hole and you're basically restarting. Yeah. Right. So secured credit cards it's tricky.
But it's a tool. If you must get, if that's the only form of credit you can get, do it. And Myron and Fresh talked about this a couple of years ago now. They did a show on the best credit cards to get if you had good credit, and they did a show on the best credit cards to get if you got bad credit. And they talked about secured credit cards, and there's some different programs that are out there. So, Brother Jose, you're right. Like if you find yourself in a situation, I ain't gonna lie, I was in that situation, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I had some problems. You know what I mean? And I never got to that point. But I knew people who did. My problems were with the IRS. You know what I mean? High IRS. So we're not even going to, again, that's like a whole nother show. But if you must get a secure credit card to begin to establish your credit or to repair your credit, go ahead and do it. If Brother Jason, if you're still in here, bro, what's your thoughts on secure credit cards and also G Complex? Because again, these are guys who are in that field a little bit. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? So, and that's definitely what's up. Brother Dusto's in the house. Scam likely. What's good, fam? So, okay, let's go into this. Like, so it's from 25 to 30. I would imagine that your financial goals might shift, or your financial move, like plays might shift. So, what are you doing between 25 and 30?
So, between 25 and 30, this is when you're gonna, if you're not already started in the career path that you at least originally planned for, you should be getting into the routine. But more importantly, financially, you should already be in the routine. You've had a few years to put, again, start small, $25, $50, $75 a month. Again, nothing too overwhelming, because at 25, now you're going to kick it up a notch, right? At 25 years old, I was putting $1,500 a month in my E-Trade account. That's not including the money that I had going to my savings account and everything. So a lot of the times, guess what I was investing in? I was investing in the index fund, the S&P, like the spider. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up my freaking E-Trade right now, let y'all know what tickers on.
Man, quit doing that, man. Why don't you just go ahead and put your account number up there, man? Why don't you go?
But I mean, I'm just gonna look at the stock tickers and stuff. But yeah, you want to get anything that tracks the index fund. You want to also, here's what's really cool. You can start now thinking about making a third income. So there are stocks that, typically a stock that pays dividends, you got annual, you got quarterly, and you have semi-annually, and guess what? You have some stocks that pay monthly, such as the capital management, REITs, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, right? These are stocks that are by law have to pay 90% of their revenue back to the shareholders. So stock tickers like GOF, ARR. You could get quarterly stocks like the BlackRock Capital Management thing, BKCC, right? And so you can have different monthly stocks and set it up like a third income, because they have set days, right? So some stocks pay on the first, around the first of the month. Some stocks pay monthly on the 15th, mid-month. So you can set it up like that. But at 25, now you're going to be taking one or two stocks and you're going to be funding them, because now on the stock market, remember, you want to diversify your portfolio, but you don't want to diversify it too much, because if you got too much diversity, you're not actually building up any wealth. Especially if you're looking for a third income, you want to pick 1-2 stocks and you just want to hammer it for a year or two. And then once you start developing it, then maybe you can start diversifying. So for example, right, any brokerage account, you have what's called DRIP, which is the Dividend Reinvestment Program, right? So this automatically takes the money. So let's say you get paid AAR, which is Armory, it's a real estate investment trust. Instead of that money being credited to into the brokerage account as cash, it's actually you get the stock cheaper because it's automatically invested into itself. So say you're making $20 a month in ARR, well, that $20 a month in dividend yield automatically is going to buy however much the stock share is at that time, plus fractional shares. So again, compound interest. You just got that money stacked and stacked and stacked. And by having it dripped, guys, no taxes. If you have it dripped and you're not touching it, you don't even have a tax bill with the IRS and everything like that. So you want to pick a couple of stocks and you just want to keep it going. And then by the time you got that going, guess what? Maybe instead of your direct deposit coming out, your direct deposit going to the Capital One savings account or the Amex savings account, now you're paying that from your E-Trade income or your Robinhood income. So instead of my my credit card balance being paid off every month through my Navy Federal, well, I actually got my credit card balance being paid off every month through my E-Trade dividend, right? And you start small because guess what? You're going to look at that AAR, you're going to look at that GOF or whatever stock ticker you use, and be like, man, I only got enough. I'm only making $15 a month. But guess what? That's your Spotify. Oh man, I'm only making 30 bucks a month. Oh wait, that's Spotify and Netflix. Oh man, I'm making $45 a month. That's Spotify, Netflix, and YouTube. You see what I mean? That snowball effect, and all of a sudden, the more money you're making on the stock market in the dividend yield, the less money's coming out of your vault, aka the Navy Federal or whatever institution you bank with.
So now your money is making you money, bro. Hey, man, I got to get that to you, man. It's the ghetto, Don DeMarco, man. I got to get you that, bro. And listen, y'all, I'm just going to keep it 100. If I were armed with this information and I heeded this information, I actually act on it when I was 18 to 20 to 25 to 30 years old. Honestly, bro, I mean, probably will be sitting on, and I'm not even exaggerating at this point, probably will be sitting on between 800 and maybe 1.5
easy
extra than what I've already done. I mean, think about that, y'all. I'm just thinking about money that I just left or just floating around out there because I didn't have this knowledge. Please, y'all. Yep. Again, we are not professionals. We want to stress that. We're simply talking about what we've learned. Brother Taroos is what he has learned on his financial journey. And I, for one, I'm sitting here taking notes, trying to figure out, my daughter's 14 years old. I want to start her off now. Let me start doing some stuff for her now. Imagine that. She start at 14 years old. By the time she's 35, how much money would be there for her because dad set this up?
Yep. And that's important because like with my E-Trade, I actually have the 2 custodial accounts that you could open up for minors for your children. And so I got it recurring monthly so that's also being invested. And guess what? It's important to teach your kids financial literacy early. For example, I actually got deals in a contract with my oldest daughter. I go, okay, you want a monthly allowance? Cool. Well, you need to do these chores, right? I'm going to pay you for these chores. And if you do these without being told, I'm going to match what I pay you monthly and I'm going to put it on the custodial account. Obviously, put way more than that. But that's the goal, because now at 14 years old, she's already trying to find those like the McDonald's jobs that you could get like the waiver and work in the summertime. And she's already like, man, Dad, I want to get this money. She's already thinking about, hey, I got a set budget. I'm already, I already got this goal, so I can save up monthly to buy this, right? And when you get into that mentality, you find it so much easier to just be patient with your money. It's really important.
Bro, that's facts, man. Because my little girl, and when she was 13 years old, we're pulling up at McDonald's or something. She's like, help wanted. What does that mean, Pop? I mean, that means they want people to work. They're looking for employees. You come in there and they'll pay you to work there. She's like, oh, can I go? Like, how do I do it? She 13 years old. She wants to go work.
Yep.
So it's the same thing. It's like, it's just, they understand that, okay, I can get money, but it's our jobs as mentors, as parents, as aunties and uncles and big brothers and sisters to show them the way. Like, all right, man, I'm just sitting here thinking now, like, bro, I'm as soon as this stream is over, I'm on it. I'm gonna get my daughter set up, which I should have did it when she was born, because that's what they did with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was a millionaire on paper when he was in diapers. You know what I mean? So what we're talking about here is the way. The 1% always move like this, and we live in a country where we can move like this as well, but we just don't have the knowledge. We're getting it right now. Hey, y'all, keep sharing information. Let's keep rocking this. Brother Cody, W Reach, absolutely. I'm about to get on it. Brother Jose, in the banking would let's see. In the bank, it would give the client an option to choose between secured or regular cards. But if a person can't avoid the secure
Right.
card, yeah, to start is the best option. Absolutely. Yeah, we're all on the same page there. Um, and then G Complex, yes, dividend paying stocks, FTW. You know what I mean? Brother Doug's in the house. What's good, fam?
Doug.
Salute to you, bro. It's always a pleasure to see you, man. And yeah, man, we're just sitting here. I guess we're about to wrap it up, man. So so at this point, I guess now the focus, I guess where you are now, your focus has it shift towards retirement. So where are you now with the plan?
Right now, I'm 35 years old. I'm not thinking about retirement because that's already been set up. That's automatically automatic. I don't even think about that anymore. Right?
Okay.
I already have money that goes to the savings account. Right? I already got money that's dedicated toward the brokerage account, whether it's the custodial accounts for my daughters or just money. Because now I'm at the point where I'm just diversifying my portfolio now. Now I'm stacking up with the Amazon because what I don't do is I don't do crap like timing the market. I buy when the stock market is up. I buy when the stock market is down. For example, you have a lot of people who will be like, man, I'm gonna wait till this hits a certain price and then I'm gonna buy. And I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I'm putting a little bit of money every single month aside too for if that stock price ever comes down. So for example, right, Amazon, it was like under $100 after they did the stock split and everything. Well, okay, if you got 5K to put in Amazon, well, guess what? I got 5K to put in Amazon too when that stock price, except I didn't wait. So now I got more shares than you in Amazon because I didn't wait for the stock price to come down. So maybe you got 200 shares in Amazon. Well, I bought 200 shares too, but now I got 215 because of the other shares I already previously bought. You get what I mean? Like people who think they can time the market, stop it, right? Unless you do this for a living, unless you got a finance degree, and even then, people who try to time the market, it's just no good. You want to constantly invest no matter what the market's looking like.
And the only person I know is good at timing the market is Nancy Pelosi's husband. Shout out to him. That's the only person I know that's good at timing the market. Is he timing the market or does he know something?
Insider trading.
I wonder. But yeah, you're right. You got to play the game long term. And the real big money, that's what they do. They don't care. You know what I mean? There is a saying out there that, like, when there's blood in the streets, they buy it. It is what it is. They know they work on a different level, but they're not afraid, man. Their strategy doesn't change because the market is up or down. It's like Myron says, it's for all the fresh and fit folks. Myron says it all the time. It's like, I buy and hold. That's it. I buy and hold. And he's a real estate guy.
I forgot what it's called, guys. This is personal finance. I think it's called something cost.
Dollar cost average. Yeah, here's right here. G Complex put it up here. GCA, dollar cost average right there. You know what I mean? So, like I said, do you see how this works? YouTube has made a platform where we can come together, the bottom 99. We can all come together and share our experiences and our knowledge, and we can all benefit from it. Man, I really hope this show, especially, I really hope people are sharing this show. I hope people are taking notes and paying attention, running this back and listening. We're gonna do more of them, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's not like this is not a one-off. We're gonna do some more. Brother Pitney, I believe Taroos is referring to the dollar cost averaging. Yep, and there it is right there.
Guys.
You know what I mean? And Brother Doug, Amazon down in the 90s. Yeah, look at it now. That's what like I said. If you just kept with your strategy in the 90s, boy, you ain't working. You know what I mean? Same thing with Apple back in the day. People were like, man, they got to walk away when Apple blew up. Apple was getting in, they was trying to mix it up with Texas Instruments. Y'all remember that? You know what I mean? Like, y'all remember. So,
and remember, guys, Apple's a good stock because they're pushing, they've been pushing, but now it's getting bigger. Remember, they're making medical equipment now, right? Remember, your Apple watches can now, it doesn't just do heart rates, it's just like EKGs and all this other crazy stuff. At University Hospitals, where my wife works as an RN, they already starting to experiment with some of these Apple prototypes and everything. So a lot of these tech fields, they're really expanding. So if you can get into tech stocks, specifically dealing with semiconductors, all these sort of different things like that, guys, that's the way to go.
Man, if you don't quit putting out information, I'm gonna come up there and smack you in your head, man. Now we know where your wife works, you know what she do, you know what I mean? God,
Bro,
oh,
hey
man.
man, I'm here for the people. This is a community, man. I love
I see, bro. Sister Candace, the money shows are always less attractive as seen on Fresh and Fit, but always most valuable. Facts. That's what I watch over there. I watch the early shows, man. That's what I watch over there when I'm watching Myron and Fresh. I watch the early shows. When they're talking money, they're talking finance, they're talking real estate, investing, Bitcoin, whatever it is they're talking about. I watch those. The late night shows, man, after hour shows, bro. Nah, I don't really be on that. It is what it is, you know me, but I'm glad that y'all do. Don't please keep watching that platform day and night. Those are my boys. I want y'all to keep going over there supporting them.
Hey, shout out. I told you, I watched the Fresh and Fit. Those things, those are really good information that they give out. I got to give them credit on that.
And that's what Myron and Fresh wants to do. That's really what they want to do. Is just the other stuff pays, bro.
Yeah,
Like
of
the
course.
other
Yeah,
stuff is
yeah.
viral. It
It's a
goes
bill. Yeah.
viral. It's just the nonsense pays. But I'm telling you, they sit around and talking, man. It's talking about making moves and doing this sort of thing and building wealth and maintaining your wealth and networking with you know what I mean, like-minded individuals. You know what I mean? Again, speaking of networking, Fresh Prince CEO has his network out there, y'all. Y'all might want to jump in there and look at that. Fresh Prince CEO Network, y'all get in there, $100 a month, and it gives you complete access to him and all of his network all around the world at this point. Because you know that guy travels the world now, and he has people everywhere, yo. So if you're a young person and you have a plan, don't just do it to be doing it. Never just give money away to be giving it away. If you have a plan and you need an effective network, then I would say it's worth the investment. Because that dude definitely has an effective network. I can tell you because I'm a part of it, and I've been down there, and he's helped me out on multiple occasions. Just listening to him, shout out to Fresh. So, Brother Penny, do you incorporate sector rotation into your investment strategies?
So if hit me, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is basically where every quarter you're investing into a different sector of the market. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. But basically, I try to just basically look at the market. For example, we know the Ukraine war is going on right now. We know it blew a hole in everything. Well, guess what? We all know that the oil companies are going to be making it big and will continue making it big. So yeah, you put your money in them corrupt ass oil companies like ExxonMobil and Shell, right? You put your money into things that are dealing with mining corporations because you know it's big. For example, I get on I'm on this other platform called Pan Africanism. I love them guys. They're kind of crazy sometimes, but I tell them all the time, if you're really serious about moving to Africa, look up the African ETS, some of the Nigerian, the South African things. Because what's cool is that these are international corporations, sometimes based right here in the United States, but they deal with rare earth minerals that they mine in places like Africa, South America, and things like that. And what's really cool is that by being a shareholder and by having a lot of your equity in there, maybe you can have some say so and actually boost up some of those regulations. Because I don't know if y'all seen Dia, if you've seen the mine that collapsed in the DRC in the Congo, and it's really sad, man, because those people work at horrible conditions and everything. And so, but guess what? That's how our cell phones is made. That's how our semiconductors are made. That's the rare earth mineral game. That is the place to be right now. So you want to do those sort of things. REITs right now, you got to be careful with the REITs because commercial real estate, that's dropping. But if you want to get into residential, the reason why residential REITs are a good sector right now, why? Is because even though there could be a market crash, there's a lot of LLCs that own these homes. So unfortunately, in real life, it sucks because a lot of people are competing for homes, not against other human beings, but against the algorithm. Well, so when this housing market crash, a lot of these homes are then going to be able to rent because the corporations own them. Well, okay, that sucks. However, don't miss out on that money and make sure you get into those REITs that specifically deal with residential mortgages.
Yeah, and be careful with the you're absolutely right about the commercial real estate sector. I'm definitely gonna talk about this. I plan on doing it short. I wanted to do it today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow for sure. There is a lot of volatility there, and the talking heads, the powers that be in that world, the financial world, they're saying there's going to be a lot of bank owned, bank, not buybacks, but people are going to be throwing the keys at the banks and saying just walking away from these loans because of what's going on with the banking markets, in particular with the regional banks right now. So be real careful
Be
with that
real
right
careful.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, with the court, with the shoot, I just said it. What is it for with commercial real estate right now is headed for a very, very hard crash.
Yep.
Now, I don't know what's going to happen on the other end of it, but be real careful with that, y'all. We're going to keep talking about that as well.
But
And
I hope
Congo, go
Pitney,
ahead.
if you could put me on game with some actual technicals with the sector rotation, that would be amazing, man. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, they put us on game, man. Even jump up here if you want to. The link's pinned to the top. If anybody wants to join us, I'll put it in here because we're just wrapping it. We're just gonna wrap it up now. I think we really hit the good stuff, man. Like we're gonna do a part 2 to this, y'all. We're gonna do a part 2 to this. Give me a second. I want to put another link in the chat just to so it's easier to find. If anybody wants to jump up, we want to say anything. If you just want to come up and say, hey, I enjoyed that, keep doing what you're doing, or if you want to come up and tell us about some hardcore stuff. And the Congo's been having trouble since King Leopold, y'all. The Congo, that's been bad since they were cutting people hands off back in the day, bro. That's just a horrible story. It's been going on since the 1800s.
Yeah, it's a crap situation in the Congo, and it's not just the Congo, it's South Africa. If you guys go and look, there's a lot of really horrible human rights conditions going on. That being said, we know the Chinese are all up and down West and Central Africa right now, throwing a lot of bread. So a lot of these ETFs, there's a lot of these emerging market stocks that you can buy into. And so you can, at the very least, be a shareholder and maybe have some sort of say-so in how that goes in the future.
They can do that. And it's funny, I just read an article today talking about how China is bailing out these companies that that they've been like in Africa, in South America, and Central America. So even China is bailing out some of these countries because there are issues out there. They have heavy investments there in infrastructure and stuff like that. So I see you, brother. I'm about to pull you up here in a second. Brother Doug, lithium and cobalt aren't bad investments since we're heading into the EV future. Absolutely. Precious metals. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but like gold is up, silver is up. I mean, like whenever there's volatility, they always go to precious metals. And then with the cobalt and stuff like that, yeah, it's absolutely needed. And then let's see, Brother Doug, I missed that story in Congo. Yeah, man, there's so much news out here, bro. It's hard to keep up. Brother Pitney, time interval can vary. Sector rotation generally focuses on following the markets and economic cycles. White Charts does a phenomenal breakdown. Okay.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Pitney.
There it is. We're going to appreciate that, fam. Brother Doug, I see commercial real estate conventions into real estate. I'm seeing conversions into real residential in the future. My bad, Brother Doug. I hacked that all up. But yeah, I see commercial real estate conversion into residential in the future.
So what Doug is talking about is remember, the American mall is dying. So what they're starting to do is turn some of these malls into apartment complexes.
Yep.
Right. And so they're turning them into residential. So depending on what REIT you can find that's getting into that would be a good investment.
G Complex is in the house, man. What's good, fam? Welcome to the panel.
Hey, nice meeting you, G.
What's up, man? Hey, I was taking some mental notes, so I appreciate you coming on. I love these financial stuff, man. A little bit of a financial nerd. From DL knows my story, man. I used to be broke just like everybody else and normal, and paycheck to paycheck, all that jazz. And now, like, I'm doing some of the similar stuff that you talk about: brokerage, Roth, 401k, all that stuff, savings. One of the things that I'll do is I'll use my credit card rewards. Like, I have a couple of like cash back ones. I'll take whatever that is, buy some index funds, let it grow.
Hell yeah, man.
That's what's up. And G, you got the floor. G, you got the floor right now, man. So just go ahead and rock with it, man. Go ahead and cook.
One thing I wanted to point out that I want people to be careful of. You mentioned about running transactions through your savings accounts. Don't forget, y'all, that on savings accounts, they're limited on transactions per cycle. Mm-hmm. Typically, it's about six. So if you go beyond six, you're gonna get a notification from the bank, right? It's not a banking thing; it's a regulation thing, right?
Right.
So it's not the bank that's trying to stop your transactions. It's actually a regulation because of the type of account it is. It's not meant to run transactions through like a checking account. So just be sure if you're going to run transactions through your savings, you got to keep it at 6 or below, and then you're straight. So
hell yeah, good pro tip.
Like an FYI, man, because you don't want to get caught with that, because then they're going to convert it. You're going to lose out on the interest rate, and then you're going to be stuck with multiple checking accounts when that's really not what you were looking to do. So, just a little FYI, I learned that the hard
Hell
way
yeah, man.
when I was
Great
young
pro
because I didn't
tip.
know any better.
Wow, that's what's up, man. And I'm glad you two were here. You know what I mean? And I would love to get brother Jason up here too, because he's a, you know, he's a credit warrior, man. He's like all about protecting your credit. Generally speaking, guys, you want like and Ben Mollis said this on his platform. No, he said this on Fresh and Fit. He said that your most valuable relationship is your relationship with your bank, not with your wife, not with your kids, not with your family, with your bank. And he was like, because you know, those guys use credit to build massive wealth. Like Ben Miles here in Tampa, bro, he has over $250 million in investment properties right here in the Tampa area, and of course, you know, all over Florida, all over the world. So keep that in mind. Like credit is king. Make sure get your credit right and keep it right. So yeah, brother Taroos, anything else? We're gonna roll this into final thoughts. I think we did a really good job, a bang up job covering this, man. I can't wait to do part 2.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, we can roll into final thoughts. I got something for you guys, man.
Okay, so we'll run the final thoughts, and I know G Complex just jumped up here, but we'll let you go first with the final thoughts, bro. And thanks for coming up, and also you can let everybody know, give them a sneak peek of what we got going on tomorrow.
Oh yeah. So as far as like this show is concerned, man, like to speaking facts, like your financial education is so important nowadays, and it's really hard to see people do dumb shit. And I say that because I did dumb shit, right? We all did, but trying to get uh people in our lives that are younger than us, especially in that high school, college age, man, and get them to understand like it's not even that you need to do a whole lot. Those simple things, maybe a savings, maybe a brokerage, maybe in the Roth, right? And you don't even have to max them out. Just get them started and start building. Because you can do, let's say you max it out one day and you're 20, right? You're gonna have a bigger head start than if you were at 25 versus at 30 and so on. So just my biggest thing is stay out of debt. That's dumb. Credit cards, uh, buy now, pay later bullshit that's happening right now. Student loans on some bullshit degrees. Like stay away from stupid debt, right? That's my biggest thing. And just try to be smart with your money. Just know where it's going, right? And as far as tomorrow goes, one thing that inspired that collab for tomorrow is communication with people and having confidence to do that. Not just with just speaking to women. Obviously, that's going to be the focus for tomorrow. But we're going to do some reaction videos on some things that I saw that I think can help just anybody help start conversations. That's what I got for today.
Hell
Man,
yeah.
that's what's up, fam. Let me get it all set up, man. Thank you so much, man. G Complex is up in the house, man. Tell
Nice
people where they
meeting
can
you,
find
G.
you. Yeah, tell people where they can find you, bro. Of course, you're gonna be here tomorrow, but where else can they find you?
Yeah, well, I'll be on the channel tomorrow. But typically, if you want to reach out, G Complex 217 on IG.
That's
I'm
what's
out
up,
there.
man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. So I'll definitely see you tomorrow. I had a thumbnail done tonight, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be dope, man. I'm gonna
I
holler at
think
you,
so.
bro.
All right, man.
Peace. And before we go, brother Dinosaurs in the house. Brother Taroos, Tesla created a permanent magnet electric vehicle motor with 0 rare earth elements. Look to invest in the research companies producing the substitute material. So I didn't know that.
Yeah, Tesla's got a lot of crap. Dino just put some great information there. Also, their solar roof, like the solar shingles and stuff, that's picking up more and more because people are now looking at renewable energy at the household individual level. So what Dino put out there, yeah, absolutely, I'm looking into that. Look into that.
Yup. And Sister Rosin, she was saying, great show. Appreciate that, love. Thank you so much for always supporting. Brother Jose, same to you. Facts, just go to the bank and they will try to sell you everything you need. Yeah. Brother Cars, great stuff. Salutations to DL Taroos panel in the chat. Have a great week to all. Have a great week to you, bro. I'll be seeing you in these YouTube trenches, bro. He be all over the place too, man. So let's get Brother Taroos' final thoughts here on what we covered. And here's a thought too, man. Next month, I'm gonna try to get me, you, G Complex, and let's actually talk about what is a CD, what is a Roth IRA, the different types of savings accounts. Let's talk about TSP, 401k. Let's do a show when we just jump into the technical terms and stuff like that. Let's try to set that up for next month, man. Don't let me forget. I'll be having these ideas if I don't write it down, and I didn't write it down. If I don't write it down, I'll forget. So
Hey, I won't let you forget because I need to learn the technical terms too. Those are really important.
that's what's up. So final thoughts for you, bro.
Hey, once again, thanks for having me. This is such a great conversation, guys. Remember, the banks, the way they make their money is off these little dumb transactions like overdraft fees, and then whether you like it or not, they're using your money as loans to make other investments. Your brokerage account, right? They're actually lending it to these people who do these stock options or do the options trading. So you know what I want you to do? I want you to hop on E-Trade, Robinhood, whatever your brokerage account is. And since they're leveraging your brokerage account and the money you have anyway, go ahead and invest in the ETFs that pay monthly, the cost covered calls, I believe is what they call, right? So they're just option trading and they pay you. It's variable every month, but it pays you dividend that you could drip in because guess what? Well, they're leveraging your money anyway. You might as well make money off of that leverage. But at the end of the day, guys, start small, build that avalanche, right? Build that momentum. Just first prove to yourself that you can stick to a plan and slowly build because I'm telling you that confidence is going to go everywhere else in every aspect of your life because once you can prove it to yourself, the sky's the limit, guys. Those are my final thoughts.
There it is right there, man. Shout out to you, man. That's for you. Man, I couldn't ask for anything more, man. Y'all can find Brother Taroos here. Y'all can find him on
I
out there.
really want to know. Let's go.
I really want to know. Y'all can find him on Black Man Unfiltered. Y'all can find him in some spaces that I don't even delve into, bro. He be out there doing his thing. One more time for Brother Taroos, man. Hang out in the back, man, with G. I'm about to wrap this up, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Hey.
Thank you so much. That's what we're doing over here, man. My final thoughts are this. YouTube has some very terrible spaces and some craziness going on out there, right? Like Brother Dusto says, man, it's all kind of dusty panels out there. But guess what? There's some great information out there too. There are also gems, right? We just did one. We just had a show here today, man. This is I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I know I keep saying this, but this show right here, I personally learned so much on this show. I couldn't be prouder. I'm so happy that I get to rub elbows with G Complex and Brother Taroos and you know what I mean, Mandrell, Myron and Fresh, Sister Candace, you know what I mean, Miss Glover, all y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy that we could come together and touch each other, pause. You know what I mean? Like we could come together and communicate and share and grow. This was a great show. You know what I mean? I just want to catch up with the chat real quick and then we gone. Great stuff already read that. Sister Candace, shout out to Brother Dino. Always blessing the chat with A1 information facts. Brother Doug DL saying you may have started a series. I hope so. XFO's in the house. What's good, fam? I got the wrong buttons keyed up. You know what I mean? I'm tired again. I'm getting slower in my old age. There it is. XFO, that's a young brother, man. I hope you, man, go back to Team Replay, watch this and learn. There's a lot of great information in here. A lot of great information. Miss Globe Girl, good show. Thank you so much, love. You know what I mean? This is what we're trying to do. We have the craziness, but we also want to do this as well. Brother Doug, we meet again at Miss Glow Girl. I see you, bro. I ain't mad at you, Doug. I came in late and I didn't have any jokes for Taroos this stream. That's all right. We'll be back. We're going to do another one of these shows and we're going to break down the technical terms behind the financial world and stuff like that. You know what I mean? All good. Hello, sir. Thanks for the work. Hey, man, thank you for being here and supporting. You know what I mean? So that's it. Those are my final thoughts on this, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really enjoy having these type shows. This was amazing. This is amazing. This is what we're gonna keep doing. This is why we do it. And if we just help one person, it was absolutely worth it. I'm glad y'all were here. Can't wait to see y'all again. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. G Complex and I are gonna be talking about communication. You know what I mean? With respect to, you know, talking to women, but the importance of communication overall. This is a conversation we must have. So don't be shy. Come through if you can. Please like what you saw it if you liked it on the way out. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to us. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all remember when we do this, it just be like 4 of us. And now look, you know what I mean? We're growing, man. We are growing. This was so much fun. Can't wait to keep doing it. Brother Doug, be strategic with panels. You join. Research the channel first. You can quickly create enemies on here. Sure can. I made a couple. Drama and mental health is real. Most certainly is real. Sunday C-SPAN have former FDIC chair Wilson William Isaac. I haven't seen that. I'm gonna look for that on YouTube. Be checking this stuff out. Cody is king. Great job, DL Taroos. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, Cody. I appreciate everything you do. Cody does so much behind the scenes, looking out for a brother, giving a brother real good advice as far as what to do, man. So that's it. I'm done. Y'all know what it is. I'm DL saying. This is DL saying I really want to know podcast, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.